I'm going to still say GIF, going around of this woman who had it was the most gorgeous Medusa tattoo in her pelvis area.
Oh, wow.
And the mouth, I believe, of it was her coochie.
That's amazing.
She spread her lips across and
Spread her legs.
She spread her legs and then her lips spread open. And the way she was tattooed, the tongue came down on the inside of her butt cheek, so it looked like her tongue was falling out of her mouth, and the mouth was her vagina. It was amazing.
I didn't see a vagina. I saw Medusa.
Right.
All I did was repost it from a personal private friend of mine's page. I went and checked. His is still up. Thank you very much.
But Facebook shut yours down.
Well, probably because someone complained about it. So I went and put it up on our Tumblr.
Tumblr is totally fine with all of that.
Fucking fat chicks posting pictures of vaginas. Dirty women.
And
dirty.
it wasn't even a fat chick. It was
it was a skinny girl, but we are fat chicks.
Yes, we are.
Fat chicks are not allowed to think about vaginas.
Is that the case?
I hope that's not the case, because that's not how I live my life.
and as we have found out, you purveyor of all things furry, polyamorous, and BDSM.
Yeah. I like all that shit.
Finally, I'm not the only one.
Yes. No.
I dabbled in the BDSM world for a while.
How did that go?
It was fine. I just realized that it had to be completely sexual.
Oh, okay.
If I was going to do it, there was like no lifestyle, no contract signing, no making me wear heels and doing dishes, no making me do myself at work. Fuck that.
That's hot.
That's the fun stuff. Not saying that I do myself at work.
No.
Work.
I don't mind being tied up, tied down, spanked, all that stuff in a bedroom.
Right.
And I better fucking finish.
Right.
That's all I'm asking.
And that's totally a thing. Some people don't want to be into BDSM like hardcore, like 24/7 is what they call it with the lifestyle. I kind of live 24/7, but I'm also a feisty bitch. So like my dominant knows.
But does that just mean you get punished more often?
No. And that is a common misconception. People are like, "Oh, she likes getting punished because, spankings and stuff." No, I don't like getting in trouble. I like to get good spankings and good tyings up.
Spankings are fun.
Spankings are fun.
So those are actually rewards?
Those are actually rewards.
They're punishments.
Yes. I recently heard that word, and I love it.
I love me a good punishment. Have you been a bad girl?
Really bad girl. So how long have you been doing the BDSM lifestyle?
Oh, how old am I? 34. So since I was 21.
Wow.
So for a while.
13
years,
right?
Yeah, 13 years. Jeez.
And
I don't know
do
when
you
I
have
34.
like one master right now?
Yeah, one. I have one.
Because you're a submissive.
I'm a submissive.
Right?
Yes, in the BDSM lifestyle, I'm a submissive, and I have a dominant, and he tells me what to do mostly. That's really funny. He's gonna listen to this and say mostly, but yeah, I can only have one dominant. Some people can do multiples, but there's no way. I can barely keep myself on track, so having to do things for him and for myself, that's enough. I can't do anything more than that.
Do you, and I've read this in articles and I've talked to other girls, do you think the appeal of it, because to me you're like, God damn, you are one independent woman. Right? And some women, I think the appeal is they get taken care of by their dom, as it were.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of different aspects to why people go into BDSM. But for me personally, I love serving. Like, I love doing things for people. I love making people's lives easier. So it kind of just naturally fell into being service submissive.
So the sex and spanking part is just like a bonus to all the natural of you anyway.
Well, it's really funny because when I first got into the scene back in 2002, it's called playing when you do like spanking and using floggers and stuff like that. I would do a lot of playing that didn't involve sex. But I was also a huge slut, so I was also having sex, but they weren't done together.
Oh.
So then I left the scene for a while and came back, and then my new dominant does both. So it's a lot of playing and a lot of sex, and I'm like...
Oh, so maybe I need to meet your dom.
Right, and he would totally be down. He would totally be down.
I like that.
Yeah.
I have a strange blended mixture of the two, lifestyle, sexual, BDSM. I could totally be a lifestyle submissive, But that would mean being a stay-at-home mom. Like,
right.
if you want me to be your lifestyle girl, you got to take care of me. 'Cause
right.
I cannot go off and go to work and take care of my business at work and then come home and got to take care of your
But then they can't have the whole I want you to masturbate at your desk scene,
right.
you know?
Which
is in almost every BDSM fiction story I've ever read.
I had a dom who made me go out to a park and masturbate in a park.
I've done that. Like, it just depends. You have to do a lot of negotiating
right here at the table.
I'm not judging. To me, it's crazy.
Right. There's a lot of negotiating when you get into a BDSM relationship. It's not like, hey, I think you're cute and you think I'm cute and you like my ass, spank me, and now I'm going to do things for you. That shit does not go down like that.
Oh. So let me ask.
Yeah.
Let's say, my Michael wasn't really into the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when I wanted to start integrating some aspects of it, because I didn't want to make him uncomfortable.
Right.
How did you go about asking potential dates or other people or telling them that you were into this? Do you whip out your iPad and show them your Tumblr? Because that's what I plan on doing. Whenever I start dating and start getting into the sex part where, okay, I've been out with this guy a few times now, it's probably time for sex. Mm-hmm. I am seriously going to whip out my Tumblr and go, okay, this is the kind of stuff I like because it's my personal Tumblr of only stuff that I like.
Right.
So our porn Tumblr.
Isn't all of Tumblr porn?
No, we have separate accounts.
There's my Walking Dead Tumblr, which is another thing we'll talk about too. So
I get porn from Tumblr
almost
exclusively now.
Yeah.
I'm right with you.
Yeah.
I'm right with you.
I forgot. I was scrolling through Tumblr. It was a quick Tumblr porn story, and it said, hey, you really like this person. Would you like notifications? I'm like, sure. And then I'm at work, and my phone's on my desk, and it's like, older erotic porn is posted. 45 new pictures. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Turn that off.
Tumblr's like, you want porn? Have all the porn.
Right, but you can't search for porn. You can't even search the word BBW.
You can.
I can't.
I will show you. There is.
What do I have it on safe search or something?
Yeah, you have it on safe search.
Okay.
The day that I found out what that little lock at the top was, I was like, I should click this. Oh, there's all the porn.
I'll be doing that as soon as I get home tonight. So I can start
I'll show you how to do it on your phone.
Cunnilingus, right?
Erotica.
Exactly. To answer your question, for me, when I am approaching people for sex, because I do it at a different level, sometimes I don't get very in depth with BDSM. But what people don't realize, and I wish more people would think about this, is if you like spanking that ass when you're hitting it from behind, if you like pulling her hair a little bit, if you like pushing her down and holding her down while you're fucking her, and this can be for whatever gender, I'm just coming from
Him,
this.
her, they, it,
yeah,
they.
whatever you identify as, do that shit. But if you like to do any of those things, you are already in doing things that are considered kinky or BDSM light, I guess I could say.
So let's say, have you ever done it first? Have you ever held a guy down or spanked his ass?
No, but I have been you could do that harder if you want.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have had a couple of guys stop and be like, you need to get rougher.
Yeah.
You I need you to dominate
You're right
me.
in the middle of it. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, really? What I need is for you to stop. Grab my throat.
Yeah.
Tell me what a dirty little princess I am.
Right. If you're going to use me, I need you to actually use me. Soft, loving, pretty sex is also good, but I like my shit rough.
Now, do you need to know them a little bit before you allow them to do stuff like that, don't you?
It depends on the level that we're doing. So
pulling my hair and spanking my ass, I don't even need to know your last name.
Okay.
Right. And I have rules with my dominant to where the first time I have sex with someone who may be interested in kinky things in the future, it needs to just be kind of just regular sex. Until I get to know that person, I get to see how they use my body and work with it while we're having sex, because that's just kind of a safety thing. I have gone to play parties where I am playing with people I've never met before till that night, but there's still the negotiation process.
Is that where we met at the Red Rooster? Is that where we met? No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe. I haven't been to the Rooster in a while.
Doesn't do a whole lot of BDSM.
No, but they do.
I had the best time. The
parties.
one time I went to the Rooster was hilarious because I went with someone who had gone before, but they never really did anything because their partners were like, let's just have sex together. So I was like, oh, we'll go. You can totally, it was me and a guy. I was like, you can totally like get with girls and I will totally cheer you on. I'm not really going to focus on like doing anything. Fucker, right. Fucker, I'm like, I will cheer you
harder,
on.
deeper.
So what ended up happening was, because by this time I'd been swinging. I started swinging probably 21, 22, because I like my sex. And I love sex with new people and strength. Like, I love that. So we go to the Rooster, and then nothing's really happening. I decide, okay, let's fool around a little bit so people can, like, see him in action. Because he was good. Like, he was good at the stuff he did, and he was so just, like, if you just saw him on the street, he just looked like a professor. Like, he just looked so boring and simple.
It's my people. You are speaking to my people.
Exactly. So we go, we hook up a little bit, and then all of a sudden we go, they have this pool area, which, you know.
Yep, we know it.
As I'm older, I'm like, I don't know how much I should have been in that pool. But I mean, it came out okay. So
my STDs were clean.
Yeah, everything was good. So we ended up at some point hooking up with this guy who was watching me and him make out. So I hooked up with him. And then 10 minutes later, I was like, okay, he was sitting on the edge of the pool and I was getting fucked by like a lot of people and I couldn't see anyone. He was just making sure people were using condoms. And I was like, how did it go from me not having sex with people to me having sex with like 20 people?
Like a gangbang
almost,
right?
I was here for you. And he's just
like a gangbang at the Rooster.
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
like, oh, this is for me.
Yeah, yeah. And he was like, and then we went back to his house and we had like crazy awesome sex. It was a good night. It was a good night.
All right, so because Toxie, you notice that Toxie's not here today. Toxie has a very sick kid, and we miss her, and she hates that she's not here because she so wanted to meet you.
I can come back and meet her.
For her, yeah, and I plan on having you back. So for her sake, let's talk about the furry aspect.
Okay.
So
the biggest like misconception with furry stuff is that it is all about sex, and that is very far from the truth.
That's all about like.
People who are furries, like this is just really generalized. So any of my furry friends who are listening to this, please don't, yell at me. I'm just giving my point of view where I'm coming from. Furries are really into art. They're really into the anthropomorphic characters. And it's like a community. In my personal opinion, when I joined the furry community, they were the most accepting and loving people I'd ever met, like right off the bat.
Well, so here's the thing. They have to be, because if you're going to show up and you'll be like, I'm a half-dragon werebeast from, Middle-earth Landia, you're like, that's cool.
Right. They definitely go off of we're all weird in this together.
So furry doesn't necessarily mean a furry creature, because you said dragon something.
Yeah.
Right. So there's like scalies who are lizards. There are birds. There are, other reptiles. There's fish.
Aquatic mammals.
It's all lumped together, but it's just anthropomorphic characters.
So your ex-husband was a furry, correct?
Yes. Still.
But was it a sexual-oriented
Okay.
furry, or?
Yes.
So his was all based on sex. You got dressed up to have sex as a furry.
Yes.
And some people that definitely is. I will say that in the furry community, I've seen the most like sexuality accepted. Everyone's just like, let's do it. Okay, this is cool.
Yeah, my mom's dog will hump everything.
Exactly.
And that's pretty much
waist
amazing.
baskets, legs.
And speaking of art,
cats
and Tumblr, if you go on Tumblr and look up furry porn,
Hello Furs, my favorite.
And that's spelled normal, F-U-R-R-Y.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not only is it beautiful art, but it's sexy as fuck.
Is it kind of like a cosplay, maybe?
For some people it is, because they have like fursuits or whatnot, but that's their character. I guess you could say cosplay. I never really put those terms with it. But like people who are in their fursuits are people, like I'm a raccoon. So I have my tail and my ears. And when I'm in my furry stuff, yeah, I'm still me, but I'm Veva. That's my furry name. And, I am that character. I don't necessarily make raccoon noises.
Are you attracted Does it get sexual for you?
Oh yeah, yes, because everything gets.
Are
sexual
you
for me.
attracted to someone who has picked the right kind of fur so that it's silky as opposed to that acrylic nasty crap that you would buy at like a Walmart or something?
I mean,
because it would have to be silky fake fur for me.
I'm not picky about stuff. Are we fucking? Okay, then we're fucking.
Yeah, but if I'm gonna have fur on private parts, I want it to be smooth. And
Right, but it's not
silky.
like fur that necessarily like sheds. Especially people who have fursuits. You got to know those things are $2,000 and up. Those are not
Holy.
cheap pieces of like. They're not cheap. I think some mascot costumes for like sports teams cost less than fursuits do. So
Have you ever done furry play? Have you ever dressed as a furry?
I'm a bunny.
Was it
oh
sexual?
Yay! Yeah, well, of course. This was my
Oh
ex-husband.
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah.
Did you ever go to a group? So you guys have meetings? Do you have groups like your polyamory
There's
group?
like Vegas Furs has a meetup group every first Saturday of the month, I believe, and they get together. A lot of furries here in town are also it's all ages, so they're not
Nuh-uh.
all older.
Yeah.
So there's like
whole families.
there's like teenagers who are into the lifestyle.
What?
And that's why we try to tell people because
It's not about the
it's
sex.
not about the sex. It's really about the community, the art, the camaraderie, the different animals and things like that.
See, I've always associated with sex.
Yeah. No, there's
Well,
some
that's
people.
because you've only ever been exposed to it with this show.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. But yeah, there's just like I tell people, not all people who have sex with stuffed animals are furries, and not all,
Wait. Sex with stuffed animals?
Yeah, there's some
There's
people
There's
that have
some
sex
videos.
with stuffed animals. I'm one of those. I have a Miko. Is that the raccoon from Pocahontas?
Yeah.
Miko. He's like this big. I put a strap on him, and I get going.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's amazing. It's
Well,
amazing.
There's also
I
you
am
don't have-
so gonna look at when people give those gifts on TV to other people, the big giant bears and the big giant. I am so gonna look at that differently now.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
and so here's the thing: you don't have to do it with a human penis. You can go to Bad Dragon, get yourself
Yeah.
any goddamn penis you want.
You need to go to Bad Dragon.
Bad
they
Dragon
have
is the shit.
amazing
Baddragon.com.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have amazing
toys.
penises and just.
I get
things.
creeped out when we get the dildos that have faces on them or are shaped like animals. So there's probably no way.
Well, these are just shaped like animal or hypothetical animal.
Yes,
animal
'cause
penises.
animal penises. No.
and vaginas.
And there's some vaginas.
And they do vaginas too.
I just call them orifices because I don't always know if it's supposed to be the vagina or other places, and if it's like a hybrid creature, like where exactly is this on their body? And
Wow.
there's even
They have a forum.
Are you monitoring the chat?
Oh no! I'm sorry, guys. I'm not monitoring chat.
I wanted to
busy.
see if there's any questions because I want to cover also your polyamory, which is probably an offshoot of the BDSM because you're dom when you have sex with other.
69 says
Oh, I
hi
know
to
her.
Steph.
hi.
Vigal.
Oh
says
yeah, I know that.
woohoo.
Oh, Vigal, I didn't say anything.
And
Going back to BDSM, Vegas Girls of Leather.
Kitka
Vegas
Mushroom.
Girls of Leather.
Yeah, it's a newer organization in town, and we are kicking ass. It's all about community, like the leather lifestyle. I have to come back on another show to get
And bring
in
you can
depth.
bring some of
Oh,
some
you
of
know
your
what?
fellow.
We'll try to work it around my good friend Annette from San Diego. She's Miss San Diego Leather.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah.
Yes, we can do that all together. So, yes, I know people there. Hi.
So, but before we go any further, because we're going to talk about your polyamory and then maybe your hula hooping and
Okay.
and those pictures that you posted by
Oh,
that
yes.
photographer, right?
Yes.
But the one thing I want to cover is how I met you.
Okay.
Well, not how I met you, but yes, I think it was kind of how I met you or how I found out about you.
Okay.
You created a group that's still active. You're no
Yes.
longer part of the group, and it's very awesome girls into nerdy activities. Acronym is vagina.
Yeah. They're
And-
awesome.
And this is they raise money for charity. That's all they do.
They raise money and they just have events, basically just getting not just women together to embrace their nerdiness, but their community to get together and embrace their nerdiness and create community. Those girls are kicking ass. Like,
Yeah.
I may not be a part of them, but like every time I see them do something,
But
I'm
you're
just
one of the
like-
founders.
Yeah, I'm just like,
So-
oh my girls.
So I wanted to
they're
give out a
amazing."
shout out to them because you come from there
Mhm.
and they're named Vagina and they're into nerdy stuff. So
you
I love
can't
that.
hate anything named vagina.
Yeah, nope, not at all. They're awesome.
And they're just type in vagina. Well, maybe you can't type in.
You can type in
vagina.
Very Awesome Girls LV.
Oh, there
and
we
it'll
go.
come up.
And they're all
On
over the
Facebook.
place.
Yeah.
Not literally.
They do a lot of stuff.
All right, so let's talk about your polyamory. How many are in your family?
Well, okay, so everyone does polyamory different. I do what's kind of called solo polyamory. So I don't have a primary partner, but I have...
Your dom is not your primary?
No, he's the one that I have the most... what's that? He's probably my anchor partner right now, but we don't live together. We don't, like, cohabitate. We don't have finances mixed together. Like, everyone does it differently. Everyone does polyamory different. There are no wrong ways. Everyone's different.
Well, if you don't have... Okay, so I don't understand this lifestyle either.
You're fine.
If you don't have live-in, or if you live on your own, aren't you just the slut?
Well, I am also that. That as well. But I do solo polyamory. So I have 2 partners right now, and there's no hierarchy. So no one's like, okay, my dominant's my primary, and then my other partner is my secondary.
Right.
I don't like hierarchy.
Isn't that what polyamory is supposed to be, where there is no hierarchy?
Not necessarily.
There's no supposed to be. Everyone does it differently. A lot of people who get into polyamory, I don't want to say a lot, but I will say some, come in as a couple. So usually the couple, that's the primary relationship. And when they start adding other people, those tend to be their secondaries. But the way I kind of view everything, everybody is everything to me. Like, I have these people, my 2 partners who I am romantic with, who I consider partners. But I also have other people who kind of do the same thing. They may not have the same label, but they are important to me. And, like, my friends are never just my friends. If you were like, Stephanie, I think I want to, like, go on a date, or I think I want to have naughty times.
Do you want what I want to do with you all the time? Because I follow you on Facebook and
Yeah.
I see your posts. I want to go over to her house and cuddle.
Yes.
She puts out these shout outs for who wants to come over and cuddle. And it's nothing
cuddling.
just cuddling.
Yeah.
It's just laying in bed, cuddling together. I so want to go over to your house and cuddle.
I'm totally down.
Unfortunately, it would never be just cuddling with me. It would always end up being sexual, and there'd be vagina juice everywhere. It's terrible.
That is also fine. So, yeah, I just do polyamory because I found that I connect with people really easily because I just genuinely love people. So what ended up happening was I'd be in these monogamous relationships, and I would meet someone, and I'd be connecting, and I'd be like, where could this go? Like, it has to only go so far because I'm in a relationship. But with polyamory, these connections can form and become whatever they are. There's no limitation, and there's no, like, definition to what they need to be.
So, do all of your partners know about your other partners?
Yes, that's also polyamory. Everybody knows.
That's a polyamory thing,
Yeah,
right?
everybody knows everyone.
What about the drama? I mean, I am sure in any group, sexual or not, if there are a group of people together, there's fucking drama.
Yeah.
Once in a while, she'll talk about some of her good friends at work or whatever. My ass gets jealous, and we're just fucking friends. You know, and I'm like, what the fuck she's hanging out with that bitch for? She's my fucking friend.
You just, you know.
I'm so glad I'm not the only one like that in this relationship.
That's amazing. I'm glad. I feel like you guys are working something out right now. Like, you just had a connection. I'm glad I'm here for
the
that.
show is therapy.
17 years into this, and I'm just now telling you how I feel.
So in polyamory, I always joke that the word polyamory probably means talking or communication in some foreign language, because there's a lot of talking and communication. And when I say a lot, I mean whatever you think a lot is, times it by 10, and then times that by 1,000,000. There's so much talking.
There has to be, right?
Yeah, because, you know, it's not just me and one other person. Like, my dominant is also married. So there's me and my dominant and his wife, and then there's me and my dominant, then there's him and his wife, and then there's me and her, because we don't have like a sexual romantic relationship. We're just friends, but we're really good friends, because the way I do polyamory is I personally would not want to not have some type of friendship or relationship with my partner's other partner. So there's a lot of talking, and like I've been with my dominant over a year now. We just had a year a couple weeks ago, and there's been a lot of shit that has happened. A lot of, you know, feelings come up and jealousies come up. With this relationship, I had way more jealousies than I've ever had, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? But you learn how to handle them and you learn how to communicate with them. And like for me, I do a lot of self work. So when I'm like, I'm jealous that you're doing something that I don't get to do with someone else. Okay, that's probably not what's really wrong. Like most jealousies come from.
For me, that's what's really wrong.
No, for me, it's the first thing. A lot of times I tell people the first thing that you think you're mad about in polyamory is probably not what's really wrong. It's really like jealousies come from insecurities. Like, are you jealous that he went with someone to something, or are you upset that you don't feel like you're getting enough going out time together? So you have to be able to process those emotions and those feelings. And I can say to him, I'm really upset right now, and this is how I'm feeling about this, and I'm really mad, and I don't want to talk to you, or I want to talk to you forever because I'm just angry and I need to talk. But I also know, okay, in a little bit, I'm going to figure out what's actually wrong. And then when you get to that,
so it's like its own therapy session.
It is. It definitely
I
is.
don't think I could do it.
No, I tell people polyamory is not for everyone.
Mm-mm.
If you want to try, I will totally help. I like to, because I've been doing that since I was about 24. So at least 10 years now. So I feel like I'm pretty good with not just giving advice, but trying to help people, especially when they're couples, seeing where one person's coming from, because a lot of times couples are saying the same things, they're just on different roads, so trying to match those roads up, and they don't hear it themselves, so having a middle person kind of helps with that. So
do you have any questions before I ask this next one?
Mm-mm.
So my question is, on a social, on a worldwide social level, polyamory is like blossomed. It's like all over the place now.
So much,
right? Do you think it's because of the new way of thinking? You're not a millennial. I don't know what do you guys call it? Are you a millennial?
I think I'm a millennial.
Is it just the new way of thinking that Sister Wives was this like the opening to it? Why do you think polyamory is so big right now? It's like a huge thing.
I think a lot of what's happening in the world is we're becoming more open. We're less what's the word? Like we're more, not just judgy, we're more uninhibited, I think is the word I'm looking for. Like we're willing to try things more. We're more open to newer ideas. And also, I think there's something that's happened where the older generation, because polyamory has been around for a long time, especially in
they called them swing parties.
Yeah, in like the 60s and like 70s and like
communes.
Yes, like I learned about communes as a teenager, and I was like, that's what I want for my life. Like, yes, I want a commune.
We all live in a big revival tent.
I love communes when they're not, crazy.
When they're not Branch Davidians and shit like that. Like,
yeah, I'm not about that life, but I just think that as we've gotten older and as the internet and just the world is growing and progressing, that people are starting to realize, like, just because our way of thinking has been this way for so long does not mean that it needs to stay this way. And it also helps when people who are in alternative lifestyles are able to talk about it. Like, I know.
And are willing.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. There's a lot of people unwilling to talk about it.
And some people can't. Like, my dominant and his wife cannot talk about it.
I believe myself to be quite progressive and open-minded, and even though I'm close to 50 now, I'm in no way of the older generation's way of thinking.
Right.
But I couldn't do it.
But it's the difference between, you can't do it, but you also accept that it's a thing.
Yeah,
you also couldn't be in a relationship with a woman. It's not about.
That's true.
It's not about being.
I can be in a relationship. I can't have sex with a woman.
Right.
It's just not. I tried it.
I tried it. It's not about being able to do these things. It's about being able to accept these things. And that's what the difference is. I think people are more accepting that there are people who are going to love more than one person.
I just see the dynamic of groups of people, and I'm thinking, man, that's got to be real. What do you do? What do you do when you have someone in your group who is bitching and squawking and being jealous?
Well, I also don't have like a big group of people. Like, my partners are separate. They know each other. We all hang out. We've, had fun times together. But it just gets dealt with when you are polyamorous.
You kick him to the cup. Get out.
No, never, because that's not gonna help
I would be
them.
kicking some motherfuckers to a curb.
That's not gonna help them progress, because in my opinion, everything is a learning experience. If someone is struggling with jealousy, it's just a learning opportunity for us to be like, let's talk about this. Why do you feel this way?
Accept your jealousy and know that lifestyle's not for you.
There is, and if you are too jealous and you're trying it, maybe it's not for you. There are books that are really good. I always suggest people read The Ethical Slut. It's written by Janet Hardy and Dossie Easton.
That sounds like a good book just for the sake of it.
I just got to meet Dossie Easton at a kink convention I was at 2 weeks ago, and she was amazing, and she's about to be 72, and she's just amazing. Like, she's the most amazing. I told her, I said, all of your books have, like, shaped my life. Like, in that book, Ethical Slut, I give it to people who are monogamous. I give it to people who are single. It just has good relationship lessons, and there's a huge chapter in there on jealousy and, like, where it stems from and how to handle it and how to go about it. And if I'm having an issue, sometimes I'm just like opening my book, reading this chapter on jealousy while I need to calm down. Like, I get jealous.
It's like your little Bible.
Yeah, it is my polyamory Bible. That's what I tell people.
So we're like just past the half-hour mark. It goes so fucking fast. Anyway, I want Sierra to tell a story about a polyamorous experience.
But first we have to do the curse word of the week.
Well, I was thinking, yes.
You have to use curse word of the week first.
It's time for the curse word of the week, brought to you by Sierra from SimCityBounty.com.
This week's curse word of the week is scunt, a skanky cunt. So, hear what happened. I was dating a guy, and he was we were both open that we weren't monogamously dating each other. Mm-hmm. And we were okay with that, like, because we were just dating. We were just dating. We were just having some sexy fun times. We liked hanging out. It was pretty cool. And then
I taught him how to spank her ass.
Yeah,
nice.
He taught. Yeah, she did.
Friends. That's what friends do.
Right.
That's right.
He had no idea. And so, we start getting more intimate and more not monogamous, but more relationship-y. Mm-hmm. And he makes it very clear. He's like, I'm not a monogamous person. I don't want to be in a monogamous relationship. I'm in 2 other relationships with 2 other women right now, and they know, and and if you're okay with it, like, I would like to continue this further.
Mm-hmm. Did he call it polyamorous when?
Yes.
He did. So
yes.
You knew going in.
Kind of, because the word polyamorous didn't come up until right around the Scunt situation started happening. So,
Lord.
At the same time, I'm on this board of directors for this nonprofit organization, mm-hmm. and became really good friends with another girl on there. We were both dating at the same time on the same dating sites. We became friends on each other's profiles in the dating sites. Like, we were giving each other's tips and hints, and oh my God, and I went on a date with that guy. He's great in bed, but don't date him. Like we became really very close through this whole thing. So then one day, there's this big meeting going on, and it happens to be at a restaurant. And so I'm like, hey, guy that I'm dating and sleeping with, why don't you come with me to this and hang out and see what I do? I can introduce you to this part of my life. And he's like, that would be fabulous. So we go. And then he has to pull me to the side at the end, and he's like, so I just thought maybe you should know that this girl that you're really good friends with is one of the other girls that I'm dating. And I'm like, well, at least you have a type. And I thought, well, this will be okay. We like each other, me and the girl. Like, I think we can handle this. Like, we both know he's not monogamous because he's told me that he's told them. Mm-hmm. I haven't met the third girl, but I thought it was going to be cool. And for a little while, it was cool up until she decided that she couldn't. She decided, I can't do this. Mm-hmm. I can't be in this relationship with you and be friends with this person.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work for me. Like, I too much jealousy. And I was like, well, peace out, lady.
Yeah.
Like, I really like you. Let's stay friends. She couldn't stay friends with me.
Okay.
I was like, all right, fine.
Hey, if that's her boundary, that's her boundary.
So on our very first, like, public outing as a couple without her, mm-hmm. she happened to be at the same event and got so mad at him because we were holding hands and kissing at this event that she called him and guilted him into not having sex with me that night. We had sexy fun times planned. She guilted him into not having sex with me that night. And I was like, and he was like, I just really need to go and talk to her. She's having a baby. And I'm like, you know what? Here's the thing. She made the decision to leave the relationship. Okay. She knew what was going on going into it. I'm okay with it. She's not okay with it. You need to decide, like, do you want to go soothe her feelings, this person you're not in a relationship with anymore, or do you want to keep your promises to the person you are in the relationship with?
Right.
And he was like, I really got to go talk to her. And I'm like, all right, I'll see you later.
Yeah.
And then we went out to a bar and we started getting shit-faced drunk. And that's when I decided that she is a scunt, a skanky cunt. Because she totally twat-slapped me. Which is the female version of cock blocking.
Okay,
you all know.
gotcha.
She twat-slapped me. Now, he is in a relationship with her, and they live together with his ex-wife and all the kids. So, I guess it all worked out in the end.
Yeah. I guess
You have someone much better.
I do have someone
You have
way
your own
better.
professor.
I do have my own.
Well, that's
professor.
what I call him. I don't know if he's really a professor.
No, I mean, he could be. He
He
should be.
Right.
Oh, what the hell's going on?
What is he? A rocket science guy. He's a rocket
scientist.
guy.
That's awesome.
He's literally a rocket scientist
That's awesome.
with a degree in international politics.
Amazing.
Right?
2 Ivy League degrees. I'm such a nerd. Nerd stirred me on.
Speaking of, okay, so we'll get into our topics, but first thing I want to do is give a shout out to the fucking Walking Motherfucking Dead.
Oh my fucking
Because
god.
that return episode,
He's got it queued up for us.
that return episode was probably one of the best episodes I have ever seen.
So I watched it at home with my sister and our friend, and we watched it. And so within the first 6 minutes, we're like, "Fuck yeah!" And we were like, "Oh shit! Fuck yeah! Oh shit!" And at the exact same time, we were all like, "Fuck yeah! Oh fuck! Fuck yeah, Carl!" Like,
It's amazing.
all of us. There was, I can't remember what part it was, but it was towards the very end there.
Are you giving spoilers?
No, I'm not giving
No.
spoilers. It's towards the very end there when we'll just say Abraham comes on the scene.
Right.
We all at the same time went, "Fuck yeah!" Arms in the air.
I did the same
as
thing.
loud as we could.
So-
The baby's upstairs asleep. We woke her up. We're just like, "Fuck yeah!" Ah, damn it.
That was
Shush,
one of the
shush.
greatest episodes. Are you a Walking Dead fan?
TV show? No, I really dislike the TV show. Comic book? Absolutely, for like 10 years now.
well, then you've been the
so I already know what happened
Yes.
last night, and I'm like, at least they're still doing some comic book stuff. I have a tattoo of Michonne from the comic book on my arm. I love that comic book.
And how come you don't like the TV show?
You know,
It's
as
a fucking good TV show, Steph.
As a nerd, sometimes you are attached to things a lot,
And you don't want them to change.
and I have a hard time with change sometimes. So I started watching the first season, and I was like, okay, that's cool, that's fine. This whole CDC thing is no, this is not happening. Then watch a second season, then watch a third season, and at that point I was like, I have to stop watching this show. I hate it. They have changed characters, like the way they, like Lori was annoying in the comic book, but not to the extent that she was in the show. And the way she died in the comic book was way more gruesome and terrible.
Because in the show, it was pretty
Andrea
gruesome and terrible.
is not dead in the comic book.
Yes.
And she is a badass bitch. Like, I fucking love Andrea. A couple other people who are is that baby still alive in the show?
Yes. Judith is still alive.
That baby got killed with Lori, and it was terrible and amazing. And the author, Robert Kirkman, got lots of mean letters from people because it was pretty gruesome. So I'm just really attached to the comic, and I just don't like what they're doing with people in the show. So I just gave up. I was like, I can't.
Okay, that's cool.
So yeah.
We love it, though.
Yeah,
oh my
no.
gosh.
I'm people who love it, I'm all for it. Like, do that shit.
Now, I made the mistake of, on my Walking Dead Tumblr, I made the mistake of typing in the search bar, Walking Dead comic.
Yeah.
Spoilers out the ass.
Oh, and the very first time I learned about comic 100,
So this
I was like, no, I think I just got a spoiler on Tumblr.
this is the other thing about the show. You guys are babied on that show. Because
Thank God.
the thing that happened with the person in issue 100, I was like, Let me tell you about the traumatic reading of that issue, because that person, I'm not going to say their name, is the person that you would never think would actually get killed. They have close calls, but not only did that person get killed.
Like a billion.
Yeah, yeah. Not only did they get killed in the comic book, but it was gruesome, and it was in front of, like, important people and children, like, traumatic.
Right.
Is it Glenn? Did they kill Glenn?
I'm not saying. I'm not going to spoil it. But there are plenty of comic. Just go on your Tumblr.
No.
Just type in Walking Dead comic. You'll get it all.
I'll tell
You know
you.
what I do? I watch Talking Dead, and they refer to the similarities between this episode and what happened in this episode of the comic book, and then I'll go and search and see for that comic book, that episode. I do not go looking for spoilers. I don't want to know who dies before they die.
And they might
I
not
ain't trying to
die
be all that.
in the
You know
show.
what?
That's true.
I did get a spoiler. I did get the spoiler from last night's from Sunday's
The-
episode.
Dad?
But still, it was even though I knew it was going to happen, seeing it, they did such a fantastic job with it on the show.
Can I just give a shout out to Carl and how badass of a motherfucking survivalist he is?
He's
that,
so dope.
That even in the face of one of the worst traumas to happen to an individual, he's still quiet. Like he's like, I'm still not going to attract the zombies,
Get in the house, Carl.
Dad. Like he's just like quiet, just quiet.
All right, so let that
Yeah.
let that lead us into the news story that you want to talk about.
Yay, Deadpool! Deadpool is amazing. I'm not going to spoil it, but if you haven't seen that movie in the next 2 weeks, shame on you.
Confirm or deny there is butt sex in Deadpool.
You can confirm or deny that. I will let you give that spoiler.
Confirm.
Woo!
Confirm.
Then that answers my question, because I've asked plenty of people. I'm like, if it's just violence and it's just language, I can take my kid.
No,
I'm
no, no,
fine
no,
with
no.
that.
No, there's
But-
sex.
Yes, if there was butt sex, then
I
no.
am so going now just because of the butt
Let's
sex.
go. Let's go. I'll
Yeah.
get
Let's
passes. We'll go.
Yeah, no, like, everyone needs to go.
Yeah. Okay.
Everyone needs to go see that movie. It's so good. And, like, yes, there's violence and language, but it's, like, violence, like brain spatter, like violence. And
so
there's
the things that they've
language.
been showing, the little clips they've been showing on Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel and all those Jimmy guys,
That's the tame shit.
they're just
yes,
really
they're not like giving you detailed about the fucking violence in that movie. There's so much violence and there's so much foul language, but like our foul language.
Right.
Like it's just hilarious. It's probably one of the funniest like comic book movies I've ever seen because it was perfect. And I will admit that I wasn't the biggest Deadpool fan because as someone who reads comic books for a while, you're like, everything's Wolverine, and then that stopped for a little bit, and then everything was Deadpool, and it's like, okay, we're getting oversaturated. But they did amazing with this movie, like far exceeded my expectations. So the thing though is because this movie was rated R, it only cost $58 million to make, and they made
wait. The higher the rating, the more
I guess.
adult the rating, the less money it takes to
yeah,
make.
they only
Well,
used
I'm-
$58 million to
Well,
make it.
they didn't use a lot of big name actors in this.
Right.
They didn't use a lot of
Fucking
the.
Ryan Reynolds is a pretty big ass name actor.
He's
But he's
he's
like-
considered a B list. He's not
Really?
A list. He's considered
my
B list.
God.
Ryan Reynolds is.
Probably,
I mean,
it's probably
that's
Green
changed.
Lantern's fault.
Yeah,
that
that's
movie
probably.
was terrible.
But I mean, that's changed. I mean, overnight, that's changed. He's no longer a B-list celebrity. He's the lead actor in a $135 million movie.
Yeah.
That makes him A-list celebrity bullshit right there.
Right. So it made a lot of money. It's rated R. So now what's probably going to happen are the studios are probably going to be like, make everything rated R that's superhero. Because for a long time, they said, oh, rated R movies wouldn't work with like big name superheroes, which is not necessarily the case. There's been rated R movies based on comic books like Kick-Ass and Blade, and I believe Sin City was rated R. But the thing about those rated R movies were they were movies that fit the rated R rating. You can't just you don't need to make Captain America rated R.
Yeah.
That
Captain America doesn't need to say fuck.
that doesn't make any sense. Like that's
so do you
not
think
him.
that's the way it's gonna go?
I feel like they're gonna just start putting rated R. They're gonna, even if they don't start putting them on all the movies, I worry that they're gonna be like, maybe this movie will be better rated R. And I hope that they are cautious about that.
The only movie
because the kids
that
still
needs
are
to
going
be
to want to
rated
see
R.
these movies.
Right.
Yeah, they are. They need to make a Wolverine with full frontal male nudity.
So they're talking about making the next Wolverine R already. There's word about that. There are a couple of Disney is never going to make any of the Marvel movies rated R because it's Disney. I don't think they release anything rated R. So anything from them is not going to be rated R. But there's a couple of things like I could see if they did. I saw an article about X-Force. If they made certain X-Force teams a rated R movie,
Yeah,
that
I
makes
could see
sense.
that.
X-Force, half the X-Force team are all teenagers anyway.
No,
No.
we're not talking about that volume. We're talking about later
X-Men.
volumes.
We're talking about we're talking
Yeah,
about
so we're talking about like Wolfsbane, Warpath, Wolverine, X-23. That was a bloody series. That could be rated R.
Well, I hope they don't. I hope they don't go that route.
Well, I think Fox will more so than anyone because they have all those titles.
But they're going to pick it. Yeah, they're going to pick and choose on what titles they do because they've been pushing the Superman versus Batman commercials coming out, and God, that looks so fucking good.
It looks like it's pretty. I just want to see Wonder Woman. I'm gonna be honest.
Right?
I'm not a huge DC fan, but I just want to see
showed
Wonder
up.
Woman.
She showed up in the clip.
Yep, I was real
So-
excited.
in the we went to go see the Star Wars movie finally a couple of weeks ago, and they did the Superman versus Batman preview, the one where the last 3 minutes like they stand up and then Wonder Woman's there, and Cannery, the Galaxy Theaters gives you that if you disrupt movies we're gonna kick you out, no thing. But as soon as Wonder Woman walked out, I was like, fuck yeah! sorry.
I love that rule. P.S. All movie theaters need to have that rule.
Yeah.
All of them.
They also need to serve beer and have reclining seats.
All right, so we've got a date to go see Deadpool.
Yes.
We're taking Lawrence of Arabia with us. Do
That
you want to
works.
go again?
If I can, yeah, I want to
so
go
she's
again.
she's gonna get a grip of tickets.
Okay.
I am going to get Agrippa tickets. Agrippa. My favorite Roman.
Let's talk about Ashley Graham.
Ashley Graham. So if you don't know who Ashley Graham is, you need to not stop the show. But when we're done, go Google Ashley Graham. This isn't her first time in Sports Illustrated, but she is the first plus-size model to have a cover on Sports Illustrated. Now, this is their swimsuit edition, and they're doing what they usually do with it, where they have 3 different covers. So they have Ronda Rousey, Ashley Graham, and some skinny chick,
Right.
Haley something or other.
We posted it on our Facebook page, so you can go to Sin City Bounty on Facebook and find it there.
So Ashley Graham has been, she's not like new on the scene. Like she's been on the cover of a ton of other magazines.
A grip?
A grip of other magazines.
A grip of them.
Like we're going totally 1999 in here. This is her second appearance in Sports Illustrated Swim. And she's been a model for Lane Bryant. She's modeled for her own clothing line.
What is her size? Do you know?
She is a size 14/16.
Okay.
Like it just depends on whose clothes she's
Right.
in.
She is the average size female in America.
She is the average sized female in America. And that is considered plus size. Now she's that beautiful, perfect plus size
Right,
girl
the
with the flat
curvy
belly
plus-
and the
yeah.
perfect curves and all that. And you know what? That's what models are kind of supposed to be. They're
Yep.
supposed to be, the perfect version of us. I'm just glad that she's the perfect version of 16,
Right.
know,
Right.
or 14 or whatever. But there's all this controversy. She's not a real plus size model because she has a flat tummy.
And this is from the fat community.
This is from the fat
Yes.
community. This is from other BBWs going, she ain't a real BBW. I'm like, according to every definition of BBW in the world, which is anything plus size, she's goddamn BBW. Now, you might be able to call her a chublet or something else like that rather than BBW, but she's still a big girl on an internationally produced magazine
Right.
in a 2-piece bathing suit.
Exactly.
And they did not airbrush her. Like, that was part of the Sports Illustrated contract. She's not airbrushed at all. So she's even got quad boob because her boobs are just a little bit too big for her bikini top, and there's a little bit of extra fat roll on one side. Like, God, she's so lickably galore. Just blah, blah, blah. Delicious.
Can I make a
That's what you're
I'm
here
gonna,
for. Go.
I'm gonna look at the camera. Dear fat girls, when we have representation on something big, can we not complain that they are not the right type of fat girl? Can we just be excited that they're showing different bodies in mainstream media can we know that, yes, maybe that's not what the average body looks like, but can we just celebrate all bodies and also just be excited that it's not the average stick figure thin person on Sports Illustrated, which is fine, but can we just have like praise and excitement for that, please?
Can I get a hallelujah hamburger?
Hallelujah hamburger. All right. I wanted to talk, and so we've only got how many minutes? Two and a half minutes. So I'm just going to ask you your opinion. Yay, nay, cheer, boo, whatever. Scalia passing away this weekend.
I don't give a fuck.
No? Any opinion?
It doesn't.
Hashtag bye Felicia.
Okay, you have to explain that. Must be a young thing.
It's fine.
No, it's not even a young thing. It's from Friday, from
yeah,
like 1999. Like, it's not even.
I try to not speak ill of people who have just passed away, but that dude was very not about progressiveness and what's going on in the country.
So the big thing that's going on is the Republicans believe because a Supreme Justice judge has died, that Obama should not pick the new judge
nominee
for the 10 months he has left.
Although I totally like the idea that everyone's been throwing around. Why doesn't he just nominate somebody they've already approved?
Yeah.
There's 2 completely unanimously approved justices on some other board somewhere that the Republicans were all saying, we won't vote for an Obama. They all voted for the last one. Be like, you liked him then.
Right. Anyway, so that was Mitch McConnell who said, and Jeb Bush jumped on the bandwagon of, no, he's in his last year. He shouldn't have a right to, President Obama should not have a right to choose the new justice.
They're so just like, he only has 10 months left and we're just going to not
You can
let
have
him
a
do
fucking
anything.
baby in 10 months.
Like, that's what he gets to do.
Michelle
like,
Obama just said,
he's the president and that's what he gets to do. But if
that's what I think.
Yeah, there's ways for them to like hold it back, so I hope that doesn't happen.
And the last thing I wanted to mention was, fuck you, Madeleine Albright. And fuck you, Gloria Steinem, for your anti-feminist bullshit. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's on our Facebook page.
Fucking Google that shit.
Oh my God. You've been listening to Sin City Bounty. This is Steph.
Yay.
You can find her at Slytherin Steph on Twitter. And her Instagram is Steph, that's with a PH, Hoops LV. And I'll put those links on our Facebook page. This is Sin City Bounty. You can find us at sincitybounty.com. On Tumblr with the porn.
Just Google Sin City Bounty.
That's right. If you find the bounty hunters, that's not us. Just look for all the girls with
really
lots
nice
of cleavage. And there we go. Everybody, good time?
Good time. Thank you.
We love you.
Bye.